Hello. Since it's the holiday season, all that stuff, I thought I'd mention 5 of my favorite things. It may not be your speed, but these 5 items are awesome, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, it's always good to get a recommendation from someone that is a total, well, I guess I shouldn't say gear slut, but I do love, checking out new stuff. There's a psychology behind gift giving. You could give someone something neat, fancy that like sits on the table, and it's like, oh, well, isn't that nice? And they've forgotten about you after a week after they've put it on their mantle, or a piece of clothing or a gift card. They forgot about you because you just gave them a card. What about if you give them something that is insanely useful, will basically last forever? I always give gifts like that, and these are 5 of those gifts. Well, maybe one of them is not like that, but the rest of them definitely are. They use it every day because it's so useful, it never breaks, and they're always thinking about you. And they may not be expensive. You can actually give a gift that costs infinitely less, or I actually recommend buying these for yourself. A gift that costs infinitely less, but if it is so useful and so indestructible, people are always thinking about you because they're always using it, even if it doesn't cost that much. This one, however, is not all that cheap. It's called the E2D Defender. It's used by Special Forces, and even, I actually know a Navy SEAL guy. I don't see him that much very often. It's hard to imagine a short guy being a Navy SEAL, but he is. He has a picture on his iPhone of him over in Afghanistan shaking hands with Dick Cheney. Anyway, he is a true Navy SEAL. He also wears this belt, by the way, I'd like to talk about in a second. It's a Surefire. It's all CNC machined aluminum. Actually, the newest one, this is an older one. This one's like 16 years old, I believe. I use it almost daily. It has 2 settings. The newer one is like 5 times brighter than this. It runs off 2 123 batteries. Has a crenellated bezel. I've dropped this thing. I've dropped it in ponds, and those are the 2 123 batteries. It's basically indestructible. This is what SWAT and some Navy SEALs actually use. This, not cheap, however. The new one, the new one is, I think it's like $170. It's worth every penny of what it costs. I know that's kind of expensive. That's as cheap as you can get one of these on eBay. That's the E2D Defender by Surefire. Something else insanely useful. I use this for repairing stuff and cleaning stuff. It's one of these black diamond headbands. It runs off 3 AA batteries. I use rechargeables. You can actually dial the illumination. You can dial it up or down. And you can also change it to red illumination. And all you have to do is just hit one button at the top. Incredibly useful. Will fit fat heads or pin heads. And these are like $60. You get them black diamond. Get them on eBay. Cavers use these. Photographers use these too. Turn on the red light for doing night photography. Every photographer, especially if you do any sort of night photography, should actually have one. I use this thing almost every damn day. If you buy like 4 or 5 of these and give these as gifts, since now they make like 6 different models of these of various power. I think this one's like $58. This isn't their most powerful one now, but it's a black diamond headlamp. And the little, there you go, 3 AAA batteries it runs off of. Very simple. It actually comes with 3 rechargeable batteries. They basically last forever. The most indispensable, useful item that you could buy. And when you buy one of these for somebody, like I said, the psychology is they'll use it all the time. And even though it's a cheap gift, relatively speaking, they'll always be thinking about you. But you should buy one yourself. Here's the most, I know this is a clothing item. This is the most indestructible, perdurable, badass hunk of effing awesome that I've ever owned. This one is like 15 years old. I've got various ones of these as I changed weights, lost weight, gained weight, blah, blah, blah. This one is rocking on 15 years now. This is all steel. You can get an aluminum one for $100. This is called the Wilderness, and this is the instructor belt. Yeah, the company is called the Wilderness. I'll actually post a link below. It's $50. Never in my life have I ever owned a I was a millionaire buddy of mine. I turned him on to this like 16 years ago or something like that. He wears the same belt every damn day. It's his favorite item. He can buy whatever he wants. He is loaded to the gills with more money than, well, I mean, he's not Donald Trump, but he's got a lot of money. He wears this belt every day. You would think that the Velcro would wear out, but no, it hasn't. It hasn't. You can actually rappel using this. You could actually take it off and use it as a self-defense weapon. This is all steel. You can buy one made out of titanium. You can also buy one. This is 1 3/4 inch. You can get one that's 1 1/4 inch wide. Both the buckle and the belt. They make a smaller one now. This used to be the only one they made. On a scale of 1 to 10, this rates a 20. This is the most kick-ass, indestructible, tougher than woodpecker lips, absolute effing awesome that I have ever owned. If you want a belt, never has this belt ever loosened. Ever. It's like, oh, I gotta readjust my shit. No. You can also do that with a belt that actually has little holes in there that the pin goes into. Those don't last that long, do they? They're not indestructible. This one's kind of heavy since this is all steel. This is actually rated for rappelling off of. My my rich buddy actually wrote the book on rappelling, by the way. He loves my crazy videos too. He was in one of my crazy videos. He has the bald head, and he's like 60 years old. If you actually saw that video, you would see him wearing this belt. You see how heavy the front of it is. Absolutely amazing. Now, this may not be your speed. You may not like the industrial sort of look, but I mean, this is not only a self-defense weapon, it's absolutely indestructible. It's incredibly comfortable. I've been wearing this thing now for over 15 years. The only reason I have a few different ones is you can get them in 3 different colors. You always see SWAT teams and special forces. They wear these belts. I swear to God, 80% of the SWAT team and special forces people, they're all wearing this damn belt. I like crap where you buy it once and you never have to worry about it again because it's so indestructible. It just keeps going and going and going and going. For $50, this is the biggest can of kick-ass that I can imagine. I know clothing items are personal. It's like recommending underwear to somebody, right? It's like, well, you know. But it's a belt. It's not underwear. This is my favorite thing. It's $50. It's called a iPod Shuffle. Most simple device. What I'm always doing when I go to a store or something, I don't want to hear the rack and rabble of typical humans flapping their lips. I actually plug this in. I go everywhere with it, especially on long trips or travel. This is the most... Why have this instead of it? This is $50. They basically last forever. You don't actually have to look down to change songs. It's called an iPod Shuffle. It's $49. I got a couple of these. I've only ever worn one out, and it took a long, many years to wear that one out. This is the best $50 you could ever spend. You'd be so happy with it. Nothing makes me happy but my little iPod Shuffle. I take everywhere. I've even got one. My other one's black. I've had it in the ocean, not literally underwater, but actually fishing with saltwater spray splashing up on it. You load, X number of thousands of songs on this. You can either shuffle it or go right through. Everybody should have an iPod Shuffle. You can say I'm full of shit for saying that, but I think this is the best $50 I ever spent, ever. Got a couple of them. I was kind of leery about showing you this one, but this is also indestructible. This is made in an ancient Japanese city called Sekai. I think it's pronounced Sekai. It's S-E-K-I. I've heard other people call it Seki City, but it could be called Sekai since I don't speak Japanese. This is a Spyderco. This is the police model. They make an Endura. This is a longer one. Depends on where you live. You may not be able to buy this or carry this. Around here in the South, you could certainly pack one of these in your pocket. It's a utility knife. It's also for defense. You can grab them on eBay. I think they're currently like $70 or $80, but they might have gone up $10. It's a lock back. It's a VG10 steel, which is really easy to sharpen. Great utility knife. I've given a couple of these away as gifts, and people they use them and pack them every day for cutting things. No, not people. Although you could use it for self-defense. It is called the police model since it has a longer blade. I sit here and shave my face, right? This one's actually really sharp because I've actually got a Spyderco sharpener, which has got like 6 patents on it. It's this patented sharpening device made by Spyderco. Anyway, this is not really a knife collector. I used to kind of be a knife collector, and this is the most utilitarian, useful knife that I've ever had. Actually, they make one like this in serrated blade or semi-serrated. These make great. Some people up north would be like, "Well, I can't carry that around. That's illegal." You know, it depends on what state you live in. You may not be able to carry this, or whatever country you live in either. Around these parts here, you know, people carry a lot more dangerous stuff than this in their pockets. So this is basically nothing, at least here in the South. You know, this might be totally illegal in New York and California. So, you know, check your local laws before you pack one of these around. These make great gifts, though. Keep them around. I actually use this thing mostly now for box cutting and actually cutting light mods. You know, there's a little finger hole here on the side. Open it up. Anyway, those are my 5 favorite things, especially this belt, the Wilderness belt. I'll post a link below for $50. Yeah, it's like $50 for a belt. Yeah, but this belt has been going on now strong for 16 years. My buddies wears his every day, non-stop. He's tighter than the bark on a tree, too, by the way. He could afford anything. I see Navy SEALs and Special Forces and SWAT teams. They all are wearing this belt. That industrial sort of tactical look may not be. And I don't think of this as tactical. I think of it as a supremely utilitarian. I love stuff that is utilitarian, useful, and especially indestructible. I like to buy some shit and never have to worry about replacing it again, or basically never have to. I love to think that way it clears up your wallet, it clears up your brain to think on other things. I mean, I can't stand buying crap that you always have to buy a replacement for, you know, like disposable razors. You know, just all sorts of crazy crap like that, you know, just like, wow, I just want to buy one of them, and when I buy it, then I will never have to buy another one ever again, basically. And that's what this is. Also with the Surefire E2D. Now, they make a lot of different versions. They make cheaper versions of this. It doesn't have to be the E2D Defender. The newer ones are insanely more powerful than this one, which I've been beating up now and non-stop and using every day for well over a decade. All CNC machined aluminum, and especially a black diamond. This may not be the best Christmas gift, especially for people that, you know, there's no difference between this and a cooking knife, by the way, you know. The only difference between this and like a cooking knife in your kitchen is that it's foldable and it fits in your pocket. Some people are like, oh my god, that's an evil knife. I'm like, why is it evil? Because it folds and it fits in your pocket? Yeah. I was like, oh, really? Some people's brains work that way. It's like, you know, it's only a knife. You know, it's only a knife. It's no different than your kitchen knife, except that it folds up and it fits in your pocket. You know, I use this to cut open boxes and stuff. Black diamond headlamp. Everybody should have one of these damn things, especially photographers, especially people that get out and do backwoods shooting, especially night photographers. You can turn on the red illumination. You can actually see what you're doing without blinding yourself. They have the little red lights in here for a reason, and you could dial up the main LED up and down. There's also a port on the side where you could actually recharge it without actually plugging, taking the batteries out, but taking the batteries out is a lot easier on this. Indispensable. I can't even think of living without my black diamond headlamp. So, anyway, I hope you like that. Those are basically 5 of my favorite things. Of all time, I don't know. A couple of them, like the belt and the headlamp, but they're great Christmas gift items. You know, you don't have to like everything. I mean, some of this stuff may not be your style, but anyway, I thought I'd make a video of my favorite things because they're indestructible, they're awesome, I use them every day. They're except for this light, which is pretty damn expensive. The rest of these things are really damn cheap, and they'll last forever, basically. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.